A prince steps into a royal hall holding scissors, not a sword. Courtiers freeze. Steel flashes, and with one deliberate snip, power drops to the floor like cut hair. He is Cloud, grandson of Clovis, survivor of a palace chessboard, and the day he walked away from a crown, he walked straight toward sainthood. They expected thunder. He chose silence, and it shook the room harder than any war cry. Stay, because what Cloud refused tells you exactly what he chose. Merovingian Gaul is a tangle of crowns. Cloud is born into it, Clodoald c. 522, a grandson of Clovis I and Saint Clotilde. His father, King Clodoald of Orleans, dies in 524 at Vezerance. The palace air turns thin. With the king gone, 3 boys remain: Gunther, Theodebald, and Cloud, each with royal hair that says, future. In the Merovingian code, long hair equals legitimacy. Shorn hair? You're no king. It isn't vanity. It's law in strands, politics braided onto a head. Everyone knows it, especially Cloud's uncles. Child Ebert I and Clother I. Corridors fill with velvet logic. Cut their hair, and they're safe, someone murmurs. Safe for whom? The math of fear starts running faster than mercy. The decision won't stay theory. It walks in with a smile. Doors close. Tradition says the uncles deliver a choice: shear the princes or end the threat. The outcome is brutal. 2 boys die. Cloud survives, snatched into the night, hooves hammering road dust, a rough cloak thrown over royal cloth. Historians pull at the threads. Who ordered what? Did Child Ebert scheme while Clother enforced? Did factions twist the story later to simplify guilt? Accounts differ. The ache doesn't. Cloud becomes a moving target with a silent future. He learns 2 fast lessons. First, that bloodlines can bait traps. Second, that safety sometimes hides as obscurity. Under clerical care, Cloud keeps his voice low, his hair unclaimed, and waits for a god who doesn't rush. To stop being a target, he'll do the one thing a Merovingian prince must never do. Rumors say Cloud returns to court deliberately, under guard, and calm. He is not dragged to humiliation. He chooses it. In his hands, shears. He raises them, and every ambition in the room stops breathing. One snip, then another. Royal locks fall. For a Merovingian, this is not grooming. It is constitutional surgery. In a culture where hair crowns a king, Cloud disarms himself before anyone can. He refuses the script where a survivor must become a harder ruler. He requests the life of a monk. Some retellings give us gasps, others a hush so deep you hear hair hitting stone. Either way, no one mistakes it. He didn't abdicate in defeat, he abdicated by design. He trades a throne for a workbench, and a city changes its name. West of Paris, the Seine bends past Novigentum. Mud ruts, river smell, a ribbon of carts. Cloud settles there not to prove a point to nobles, but to serve ordinary bodies that break before politics ever does. A small church rises, likely under the sign of St. Martin, the soldier-turned-bishop who once cut his cloak to warm a stranger. Fitting, because Cloud doesn't just renounce, he divides what is his to give what others need. Pilgrims arrive with bandaged hopes. A mother with a fevered child. A tenant pushed off land. A young man whose anger speaks before he can. Cloud listens with empty hands, and that is why people fill them. He mends sandals, prays simple prayers, and when nobles quarrel, he wedges words between their swords. Years don't harden him, they thin him into clarity. The more he gives away, the more the village remembers. In time, Novigentum takes a new name, St. Cloud. Geography does what the court could not. It honors the man who refused to be honored. He'll be ordained not to climb, but to kneel more efficiently. Cloud is ordained a priest. Sources vary on which bishop, with Paris as the likely axis. He refuses the glamour of the collar. He keeps the carpenter's humility while wearing a priest's stole. Healings are reported. A child's fever breaks. A field that would not take seed finally feeds its owner. Two feud lines sit at the same table after his council. Devotional records are fragmentary, part memory, part miracle, always human. Cloud carries a little iron circlet, a reminder of what he could have worn. Sometimes he sets it on the floor before prayer, a crown returned to dust. Next to it, shears clean and plain. Not trophies, tools. Even peace has a last chapter. His will be quiet. Near the end, Cloud steps slow. His clarity doesn't. No royal procession, no marble bargain. He asks for a place to praise, not a place to brag. At dusk, a few gather, farmers with cracked palms, widows who learned courage by remembering him, a pair of nobles who used to fear his claim and now fear his absence. He rests those shears and that iron circlet on a low stool. He looks at them the way a craftsman looks at finished work, not attached, only grateful. When he dies, the village doesn't feel abandoned. It feels like someone set down a weight they didn't know they carried. He left behind more than memory. He left a map. Later centuries argue in footnotes. Which uncle drove the plot? Which bishop laid hands? Which cures count as verified? Debate what you like, the headline doesn't change. Cloud proves you can break the script of power without breaking your soul. He turns trauma into mercy. He turns a bloodline into a lifeline for strangers. He turns a crown into a lesson, and a pair of shears into a sermon you can still hear if you walk through modern St. Cloud, west of Paris, and listen to the quiet between traffic and trees. The suburb doesn't carry his title. It carries his name. Not King Cloud, St. Cloud. So what now? Beyond admiration, we chase new crowns, metrics, offers, titles. We forget we're allowed to decline them. Cloud didn't run from. He ran toward people, toward service, toward a peace that didn't need an audience. The next time a decision pins you to a wall, remember the prince with scissors. Choices that look like loss from the balcony often look like freedom on the road. You don't shrink by letting go. You make room to grow. If Cloud's story opened something in you, drop a comment below and tell me which scene hit hardest, the court, the cut, or the quiet town. Then subscribe for the next chapter. St. Clodoald, the grandmother whose courage seeded clouds. Share this with someone standing in front of a decision they can't escape. Subscribe link, like,